What's up? I am like having a good morning. Um, I actually stepped out to get some air. I've been like working a lot, so I haven't had a lot of time to, I don't know, just process what's been happening with me as of lately. Um, I've just been like, I don't know, it feels like some type of major transformation that's happening with me. I'm just doing so much. And I was having a conversation yesterday um, with a friend of mine. He's also a sponsor of mine, and he has a ministry. And we were discussing the things that have happened in my life within the past year. And I said to him, I don't understand how I could be so spiritual and so into God, and prayer and meditation, right? And then I get inside of this relationship with this guy, and we're building off of each other spiritually, and um, I don't understand how it got so bad, right? It's actually pretty cold out here, which is interesting. It's cold. Anyway, um, I said I didn't understand how something as amazing as justice, my son, something so beautiful could come out of a situation that towards the end of it was so bad. Like because my son was built out of love, you know? And I said this to this minister, and he brought something to my attention in regards to how God operates. And he said, I bet you haven't prayed and meditated and spent as much time with God and have questioned God as much as you have lately. Um, um, and I said, you're right. I actually, hadn't. Like, of course, I would do my regular everyday, like prayer and my regular everyday meditation, but I amped it up uh, so much more. And now because my son is old enough to observe what's happening around him, I've started to go to church on Sundays because I want him to have some type of um, belief system. I want him to believe in a higher power, and because a church, a non-denominational church, is so close to my home, and a Buddhist temple isn't. I said I'm going to take my son to church. And so my son has been to church twice now, and I'm surrounded by a different like circumstance and different set of people. So everyone around me, of course, for many years have been always about business and entertainment and been extremely professional. But now it's more of like a positive, more I don't know, more understanding, more. I want to say human. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm around a set of people who are uh, human and just trying to do everything that they can to survive every day. So being around that is it's better for me and my son. So Friday is my paternity test for justice. And it's unfortunate that I have to do it, but it's mandatory in order for child support to, be fully into play. And Justice is 6 months old, and I'm surprised that it took 6 months for this to get to the point finally to where we're doing the DNA testing Friday. And as I was telling a lot of my friends, we do the DNA test Friday. A lot of people were like, well, is Priest going to be there? And is Priest taking the test? And blah, blah, blah. Well, my answer to that is um, the way that it's done is they send me to a laboratory here in California, and they send Priest to a laboratory under the same company in Atlanta or close to where he lives. And we do the mouth swab, here I have to take the test as well. And, just because I'm the mother. And I have to take the test, and then Priest takes it where he is. So, no, he won't be there. I doubt very seriously if Priest and I will be in the same vicinity anytime soon. Okay. And that's a very, very good thing because between the two of us, we have a lot of healing to do. He has a lot of healing to do inside of his own life that has nothing to do with me. And I have a lot of healing to do in regards to this specific situation because it took a toll on me. So people know that during my pregnancy, at the end of my pregnancy, I went and decided to do counseling because when you go through something as traumatic as I did, regardless to how much people downplay what I went through, it was very, very difficult for me to handle and also try to handle it publicly as well. And it was my responsibility to like go through what I was going through and allow myself to be transparent during this time. So it helped me sift through who was really good for me and who wasn't. It's like my radar changed. You understand? Like before that, I kind of was just welcoming everybody into my life until they did something wrong. But now it's kind of switched to a point where I'm like hesitant, even in regards to just business or just, association. So now it's a lot. My radar is very, very different. Unfortunately, this situation has made it to where I can't be as um, I want to say welcoming and inviting as I used to be, and that's one of the things that made me an attractive person. Made people like me so much because I was just very welcoming and very inviting and very cool and easy to be around. And so to go through this experience, it's unfortunate that a piece of me has to be taken away because of it. But that's life, and you learn, and that's part of your journey. But last week sometime, and this was weird to me. Last week sometime, I posted a picture of Justice in my Instagram story, and those of you who follow me on Instagram, you know what I'm about to tell you because you follow me, so you know exactly what the story I'm about to tell you. And then there are some people who follow me who didn't even know that this happened. So I posted, usually when I post my Instagram story, I post pictures of me or Justice or whatever. And I posted a picture of Justice in a bib because he's starting to eat solid. So I posted a picture of him, and it's a big guy, right? And if you have Instagram, when you post your Instagram story, you can actually see who's looking at your story. And so I never really look to see who would be looking at my stories. I don't really look at that often. I just post a story and keep it moving. And so for some reason, my spidey senses told me to go look and see who was looking at my Instagram story. So I took the picture of Justice, and I looked through to see who was looking. And lo and behold, there's Priest. And I'm thinking to myself, wait. Number one, for him to claim that Justice isn't his son and I'm such a negative person and I'm all of these bad things, why is he looking at me on social media? Our relationship has been over, and people told me that he would do this. People told me that he was going to look through my social media and he was going to try to watch Justice grow up via my YouTube channel. All of this stuff. And, of course, you hear things from people, and I just let it go in one ear and out the other. And I was like, no, he's probably not, because my thing was, when you hate a person or you're not interested in a person or a person is a bad person, 9 times out of 10, you're not checking for them on social media. Like that's the last thing that you're doing. So even when, a lot of people who claim that they feel negatively about me continue to watch my content or to continue to look at me on other social media platforms, it's like, yo, you love me. You don't hate me. Because usually when a person hates a person, they don't want to see them. They don't want to talk to them. They don't want to nothing. And they don't want to hear about them. They don't want to, so what you're feeling when you look in my direction, and you might feel some type of feeling, whether it's negative or positive, but 9 times out of 10, you claim it's negative, but you keep coming back and looking at me. It isn't because you hate me. You know, I, I don't know why people, I don't know why people act like that's their reason. But if you don't like someone, usually you're not going to keep checking for them. And so when I saw him checking on Justice's picture, I was thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure you had all of 6 months since he's been born to continuously keep looking on social media at him because I've posted him. I don't do it as often. I don't post him as often as when he was first born. When he was first born, I think I used to post him like every day. He's gotten older, and I keep him very, like, I don't want him to grow up like in front of the camera, because I remember during my pregnancy I was thinking about having him doing modeling and acting, and then I thought about it. I said, well, there are so many things in this world that my son can be. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to be an actor. He doesn't have to be a model. He doesn't have to do any of that. And I prefer to put him in something that he's interested in. Once he can convey to me what he's interested in, then I'll, start trying to nurture him to become whatever it is that he wants to be, and encourage him to be the best version of himself he could be. So I said, well, I'm going to take a picture of him and, of course, share him with my friends and my family, because, especially my supporters as well, because a lot of you during my pregnancy donated, and a lot of you sent me positive word. So I feel like it's my responsibility to still share justice with the world, with people who are interested in seeing him grow. So of course I still post him or whatever, but not the way that I guess the average YouTube person or TV personality or like entertainer or actress or whatever would post their children if they were trying to make their children become, in entertainment. And so I don't post him as much, but I'm pretty sure that Priest has had plenty of opportunities to see justice, and he so eloquently puts that he didn't see himself in justice. He didn't feel like justice was his. He didn't see himself in justice. And I'm thinking, well, you don't know yourself. Like, after everything that we have been through, when I hear that Priest tries to claim that he doesn't see himself in justice, I feel like you don't even know who you are. Like, you're still trying to figure out who you are as a person. And it's a shame that someone at 38 is still trying to figure this out, but that's just life. I'm not going to judge him on his journey, but sometimes people are, get to a certain age and they might rethink the way that they've been living and try to reinvent themselves to be something else. I've done it before, so I can relate. Even this transformative experience that I'm having right now kind of feels like I'm getting to know myself a lot better. I'm starting to feel a lot better and know myself so well to where I can tell you what I can deal with and what I can't deal with, and what I can do and what I can't do, what my weaknesses are, what my strengths are. So I'm not going to judge him for not knowing who he is, but of course you're not going to be able to see yourself in your own child because you don't know who you are. Like, as a man, I can only imagine what that's like to not know who you are, not be certain about what you want to do with your life, and looking at the life that you had and how insufficient it was, and how you don't have anything. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, being inside of a 14-year marriage and you don't have children, a legacy, a business, a home, money, education, and you're lacking in so many different areas. I can only imagine, what you're thinking about in regards to your marriage and your life. Like, what have you been doing for the past almost 20 years, almost 15 years? You're in a marriage with someone and you don't have any of that. Like, what? Not even any children? I mean, it's just weird. So, to me, I've decided to distance myself from trying to figure out or put some logic towards what happened between Priest and I, because still to the end of to this day, it doesn't make any sense how it went. And of course, you can't put logic into craziness. Some stuff is just irrational and illogical. You're never going to be able to figure out why a person decided to do blah 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 blah, because sometimes people are doing the best that they can with what they know, and there's a lot of stuff that Priest doesn't know. I mean, even basic information, and it's a lot of stuff that he doesn't understand. And I'm looking at him like, you know the way that you're handling stuff is so bad. Like, who taught you how to handle life this way? And so anyway, when I saw him looking inside of my Instagram story, okay, I decided to contact him and put proof that I caught him looking at my social media, because I don't really look at his. I don't care to. It's not an interest of mine. It's not something I could give two shits about. You know what I mean? I don't really care about that. He could do whatever it is that he wants to do. So I don't really see any point in following his social media platforms or anything like that. That's his personal business. So I don't really take the time to, I don't know, look at what he's doing. And so um, I wanted to put the proof out there that he was definitely looking on the platform or on mine, because I couldn't understand. So anyway, I added him. I posted it, and then I tagged him, and I said to him, you know, you don't have to use you don't have to use social media in order to connect with justice, because number one, I have a phone number, I have a email address, my mother phone number, you have this information. So if you wanted to see what was going on with us, you could easily call. You don't have to look on social media to check for us. So if that's what you're doing, like, you don't have to do that. And then I got into this whole, what you did was wrong. Um, I cared for you. I was hurt. I had every right to be furious and angry because I was lied to. I was misled. I have every right to be pissed about that. I don't want you in my life. If you feel that way about me, the feeling is mutual, because I definitely want nothing to do with you. I don't want to get back together. I don't want any of that, and I think it took to feel like didn't want him in my life altogether, because I had to literally make the decision to do that. Because initially it was, well, I want him around, so we got to figure this thing out, because I want him to be in my life as well, so we can co-parent and be cordial with each other. That's how it was while I was pregnant, and I was trying to do everything I can to stop being so angry, to stop being so hurt, and just fix the situation. But because he has put forth no effort to nurture a decent relationship between the two of us so we can be amazing parents, and instead he's decided to detach himself because he wants to be with other women. He's in this delusional state trying to make it seem like justice is his, and all of this crazy stuff that I will never be able to understand. And so because he thought that it was okay to do these things to me while he was trying to figure out who he is as a person, it just lets me know that whoever he is as a person is not someone I want to deal with. Because even when I'm going through my personal feelings and stuff, if I'm going through anything, I still try to factor in the people that I love, and will my behavior affect them in some type of way. And I think that's the healthiest way to handle a situation when you're going through whatever it is that you're going through. And with him, I was going through so much. I mean, everybody saw me going through whatever I was going through. But I had to stop caring about what he wanted and what he felt because he never cared about what I felt or what I wanted. You know, there were people out there who were saying things to me like, why would you tell the story or why would you be so public about the story? Uh, it's his private business. Why would you tell his private business? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not telling his business, I'm telling mine. And for a man to have done what he has done to me, why would I give a fuck what he feels and thinks anyway? And it just says a lot about me as a person to have cared for a second. Because for a second, I did care. I was like, I don't want to make him out to be a bad person and I don't want to blah, 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 but I got to tell the truth about who he is. I was like really thinking, like, I don't want to hurt him. But then again, it was like, why do I care about someone who has purposely hurt me? Why do I have to be the person that's the bigger person and still care about him, even though he didn't give a shit about me? You know what I'm saying? It didn't make any sense to me. So, but I did say to him when he did post when I saw that he had looked inside of my Instagram story and I said something to him. Um, I said, you know, I don't want you in my life, but I definitely want you there for our son. Like, you can pay your child support, you can visit him. I'll welcome you to have a relationship with him. But as far as you and I are concerned, I'm like, no, 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 that's never happening. I don't ever see us being friends. I don't ever see us being cool. I don't know how that's going to happen. Maybe God will fix that. Maybe something will happen to where I don't know because I don't see that happening at all. Like when the way that the situation went to where he abandoned me the way he did, because I did say that in the Instagram post too. I was like, you know, okay, you wanted to be in a relationship, you wanted to be with someone else. That's cool. Okay, I should be furious, but abandon me to where you block my phone number, stop answering my phone calls, stop answering my texts. That's a bit extreme. Like that is when you know I'm pregnant, that's too much. And then all of the stuff that happened on social media with all of these other people and what they care about and what their 2 cents is, you know, that stuff was irrelevant to me. And I was just surprised. I said to him, you know, for you to sit here and listen to all of my haters instead of coming to people that actually know me, like people that actually know me will tell you who I am. You can't figure out who I am from a whole bunch of strangers, regardless of how many YouTube videos you guys watch. No matter how many times you know share a post of mine or make a video about me or chit chat with some other people about me, you still don't know me. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, I'm saying to him in the Instagram chat, I mean in the Instagram post, you know, why didn't, if you wanted to know some information about me, why not ask people that know me, not these strangers or these haters? And I said to him, you know, there's people out there who were saying negative things about him, and I took up for him, and his family even tried to pull him down, and I took up for him. So why didn't he defend me against all of these people? If I felt like he wasn't going to defend me against all of these people, I never would have dated him in general, ever. Like that would even have been something I would have considered because that's, I need that type of person. You know, I need the type of person who can be that person in my life. I can't. I don't have a luxury like a regular person. Maybe a regular person could be with someone who could be that two-faced. But then again, I tell people inside of relationships all the time, if the person that you're in a relationship with can't defend you or will allow people to speak negatively about you to them, that's not the person you should be with. But I definitely, as a public figure, do not have the luxury to be dating someone who, number one, doesn't have a backbone, number two, doesn't think independently, number three, doesn't, you know, have the strength to defend me when a whole bunch of haters or negative people are talking about me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You know, where I'm standing is interesting. I, I wish I could share with you guys where I'm standing, but it's it's private. Like I've been living, you know, I live my life off of YouTube very and off of social media very privately. So what I'm doing when I'm not on social media is like something I keep to myself. I don't really tell anybody where I am. I definitely have gotten better about not sharing where I am exactly because too many people are like being oddly stalkerish. It's kind of strange. But anyway, so after I had posted that on Instagram, he blocked me. The man that takes care of justice, there's this guy who takes care of justice. He has done more for justice in the past 6 months. I mean, this guy started taking care of me when I was still pregnant. And so if I needed anything, if I needed anything, I don't care what it was, he was there for me. Okay. Every single time. Financially, everything. This man has put more money into justice and his survival than any other man. Okay, now it's a lot of men out there who want to take responsibility for justice and just be a father figure to him. I can say that there are a lot of men out there who are very comfortable with just being a role model or a father figure or some type of, just a powerful force in my son's life. I have more men contacting me asking me how my son is than anything else. Like, I mean, just all of the time. Men, listen, the men on YouTube are weird, okay? They're angry and bitter and hurt about something that some other woman did to them or some women, their poor choices in women. But when I get on the other social media platforms or I start dealing with my regular everyday friends and all of that stuff, these people, these men are very, very supportive. And they're very, very like concerned about my son. And so one of the guys who takes care of only, because he only has one who is like a major father figure in Justice's life, and he came onto the post that I posted of Priest, and when I tagged Priest, because I posted a picture to prove that Priest had been looking at my Instagram story, and the guy tagged Priest and said, you need to love your son more than you hate Soncerae. Is basically what he was saying. And I feel that. I feel like for me, I have done everything and as I humanly can to show that I love my son more than I hate Grace. I love my son. You know what I mean? So I'll do whatever for him. I know he needs his father. You know, had I known that Priest was going to try to back his way out of the situation, I would have never even opened up myself to even consider marrying him or have children with him. Had I known, and you don't know till you know what I mean? And the funny thing is, you can sit there and have several hundred conversations about it, like Priest and I did. You can sit there and talk about it over and over and over again because we talked about marriage, we talked about parenting, we talked about, what we were going to do, our plans. It wasn't, oh, Sansaray just purposely got pregnant while she's living in a hotel. It was more of, okay, we're in the process of building our life together. Of course, we love each other. We're attracted to each other. So we're going to naturally have sex. And I'm thinking sex is definitely going to be, getting pregnant is definitely going to be harder for me because number one, I'm almost 40. Okay. Number two, I have had difficulty with um, having children and getting pregnant for so many years. I just didn't see that it was coming. So it wasn't that I was purposely like, I'm going to get pregnant by this guy and, trick him so I can get some money. It wasn't like that because he's like totally the brokest. Like out of all of the guys that I've dated, I think Priest has got to be the least educated and the brokest. I've never dated a guy who was broker than this guy. I've never, when I think back about the guys I've dated, I've been the breadwinner in the situation because I've always, like, usually, with the exception of like the last 3 years, I have always been financially in a good place. And for the past 3 years, it's been like difficult for me financially. So maybe that's why I ended up with the brokest man on the planet. Maybe that's why, you attract what you are. So maybe, I was sitting there with my four sources of income when I started dating him. Like I had all this money and I was like, well, I'm about to, moving to a new home and I'm about to do my thing. And then I met him, and it seemed like he started draining my positive energy. Like everything that I was working on started going down the drain. And he wasn't helping my life. You see what I'm saying? Like it wasn't beneficial to where he was helping me improve. It was like I was helping him improve, but at the same time, it wasn't beneficial to me. Like, and that's why a lot of women get on me about dating down. Why did you date down? Like, why would you do that? But ever since he and I have broken up, if you have been following me on all of my social media platforms, you see I'm doing a lot better since he hasn't been around. Like I've been a lot more stable and doing well. Of course, I'm still building my life back because it takes time. Like think about how long I was pregnant. I was pregnant for like damn near a year. You know what I mean? So in order, you go a whole year and you're not working and you're not doing anything because you're sick, and then you got to turn around and you got to pay back all your old bills, and you got to like rebuild everything back up. And so that's what I am in the process of doing right now. Uh, I think that this situation, like I said when I at the beginning of this live stream when I said I was talking to the minister, I believe that this situation, something beautiful will come out of it, and it most likely will have something to do with justice because, you know, as confused as I am about why Priest didn't end up doing the things that he said, or he and I ended up being married and things of that nature. Um, that's confusing, but um, at the end of the day, regardless, I think the reason why Priest and I even met each other to begin with was just so justice could be here. I think there were some amazing things about me and there's some amazing things about Priest that needed to come together to build justice. And so to me, that makes sense. To me, that feels right. Um, People ask me, are him and our Priest and his wife or ex-wife, are they still doing something together? I don't know. A lot of people say, hey, she's going to be there paying child support with him, and I'm like, yeah, if they've still decided to stay with each other. um they had issues before he and I met, so I mean they were planning on divorcing before I even came around. So regardless to whether they have decided to get back together temporarily or whatever, that's their business. I want nothing to do with him or her. Like, I was trying to be cool and comfortable with her because I felt like, there was no reason to unnecessarily be like hateful towards her. I didn't have a problem with her for a long time. Like, during my relationship, I was just like, Breeze, if you and her are going to get divorced, finalize it. Let's get it done. Let's move on with our lives so we won't have any other problems legally. And I would get on the phone with her and just let her know, I don't have a problem with you. But then that all changed. That all changed because the more, I don't know, the more, like, she's a little messy. So the more she would try to pretend like she wasn't the catalyst for a lot of the issues. Like one of the interviews that her and Priest did on YouTube was her idea. And when she called me and told me that, because I was thinking it was all him, because he be on some foolishness. So when she told me it was her, I was like, bitch, I definitely have a problem. Like, if you want to stay out of something, why do you keep involving yourself? Like, I don't get it. Like, you want some attention, okay? Like, and for her to call me, the foolishness of calling me saying, hey, when I think Justice was a month old. I think I've said this in a live stream. She called me when he was like a month old. And it's always been her reaching out to me. It's never been Soncerae just being like, let me just call her. I remember when Priest and I was dating and I asked him for her phone number because she called him one time mad about something that he posted on Facebook. And I was like, why are you mad about something he posted on Facebook when y'all not together anymore? Like, bitch. So anyway, I asked him for her phone number then and I never called. But anyway, every time she comes in the picture, it's always her initiating something, but she swears she wants to stay out of some shit. So my thing with this situation with me, priest and justice, when I go take the DNA test Friday and the child support stuff starts kicking in, really, because he has to pay, first of all, because he is legitimately like Justice's father, like he's definitely Justice's father. The cost of the paternity test is his. If we were to take that paternity test and Justice was to come to find out not be priest, then I would have the responsibility of paying for the paternity test. The paternity test is like $525. And I'm thinking, fellas, let me tell you something, fellas. This is what you should do. All right. If you ever get in a situation and there's a possibility you feel like a child isn't yours, be cool, be real chill during that pregnancy, be around, be there for her. You don't have to necessarily be in a relationship with her, but be there for her. And once the baby is born, you two go off on your own and get that child support. I mean, that paternity test. Don't make it to where it has to get that bad to where she has to file for child support for you, because then you'll have to, if the baby is yours, you have the responsibility of paying by the DNA test, and you have the responsibility of paying that all that back child support and the child support you have to pay for the next 18 years. So instead of you getting immature or in your feelings and shit, and even if there's a possibility that you think a child isn't yours, keep it calm, keep it cool, keep it, the relationship between the two of you cordial, especially if she's being real cool about it. And just ride with it until the baby is born. Like, be there through the pregnancy, and when the baby is born, and even be there for the birth. Be there. Because the problem is men will claim they don't want children, but they don't strap up. And then they get these bitches pregnant, right? And then they claim the baby ain't theirs. No, nigga. Like, listen, I'm telling you this, don't let Maury fool you. Like, Maury's TV. That's designed to entertain. And what's more entertaining to people is that a woman to come on and test all these men to try to figure out who their baby daddy is. That's more entertaining than a show like, for instance, Paternity Court. Have you ever watched Paternity Court? 9 times out of 10 on Paternity Court, the child is usually like, like the father, the alleged father usually is the father. Like, the tests will come out positive every single time when you watch Paternity Court. But in real life, what I've noticed as I've been talking to my caseworkers and people that work at the child support services office, 9 times out of 10, when fathers are walking around here, being shit stains because they think a child isn't theirs, and then they turn around and they take the paternity test, usually they are the father. Usually, and unless if we're going to talk percentage wise, 80% of the time they're actually the father. And so when we do take this house on Friday, and it's legally on paper, because I did say to everybody, something legally needs to happen with Priest and I. He needs to legally be attached to Justice, not necessarily to me, because he feels like for some reason he has to be pressured into something legally in order for him to do it. And that's unfortunate. Like, if you're an adult and you have a responsibility, you should just handle your responsibility just off of the fact that you're an adult, not necessarily because you have to be forced into it. You know what I mean? But I've been trying to be pretty cool about the situation. He ended up blocking me from Instagram, which is, you listen, you lurking and stalking on my social media. I ain't even giving you two thoughts. I don't even look on your social media. I don't like your stuff private. I don't even check for you. You checking mine. I tell you I see you, and then you block me. I think it's butthurt. But he didn't block Justice's father. You see what I'm saying? Like, Justice is basically like Michael. His name is Michael. I've talked to you guys about Michael. I'm sure if you don't know Michael, I call Michael my angel, my archangel, because during my pregnancy, Michael was there for everything. He was there. Um, he was supportive. I met him. He lives in Oakland, in here in California. I met him after. I was pregnant, so he's not Justice's biological father. Priest is Justice's biological father. But Michael has been more of a father figure to Justice financially, every sense of the word, more than Priest has. So when Michael came into the post where he tagged Priest and he said to him, you know, my father died. I didn't get to meet my father, and I wish I did. I thought that maybe Priest would be able to relate to this man because Priest's father died as well, but it didn't go that way. I don't know what happened after that. All I know is Priest blocked me. I was like, you know, I didn't want you in my life anyway, so thank you. You know, like if you want to see your son and you want a picture or something, I email you, want to text you, want to, you know, you come out here and visit him if that's what you want. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't want you in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've moved on with my life. No, I will never get married. No, I will never have any more children. No, I will never be in another relationship. No, I'm not having sex again or anything like that. I'm just focused on my career. So anyway, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do. It's at Soncerae_XO. If you're in the Atlanta area, um, I want you to pay attention because I am doing a 2019 Young Black Woman Power and Respect tour with a whole bunch of other successful entrepreneurs, African American, female. I have some male ones. The tour is all over the Southeast and some West. I'm doing one in Oakland and in Sacramento in January. February, I am doing the Black Enterprise Women of Power Summit, and I am trying to figure out how I'm going to do this because it's in Vegas. And so I'm planning on speaking. And if I don't speak like I am supposed to, because the speakers there are like Shaka Khan, um, what's the other lady? I got to get my information together. My manager handles all of that. My manager is amazing, by the way. His name is Jamal. Oh my God, he's so amazing. I love him. I love him to pieces. He's been my friend for many, many years. But he just started being my manager earlier this year when we started to try to rebuild my career back to the way that it was. He's been very supportive, but he knows all this information. Like I like he has to keep up with this because it's difficult for me to keep up with all of the things that's happening. Like my career is like exploding. It's you know, like I said when the minister said to me, you know, you go through some bad things and something beautiful comes out of it. Like all of this bad stuff that's been happening to me for the past 3 years. For some reason, all of these amazing things are starting to happen now, and it's like, wow, so anyway, everybody knows that I'm doing my inspirational speaking and stuff like that. So it's no surprise that I'm doing this 2019 Young Black Woman Power and Respect Luncheon and Forum. It's a luncheon and forum, and it's in Atlanta in March, and it's 2 day. In March, it's the 16th and the 17th. And so any female, you know, Black females, if you want to come out and have lunch and get free gift bags and prizes and all types of stuff. You can interact with other women. You know, it's about sisterhood, and friendship, and positivity, and growth, and mental and emotional health, and business and entrepreneurship, and everything. It's just like all of the women that I've worked with in the past, TV personalities, doctors, lawyers, real estate people, uh, women that have started schools, all types of stuff, women who have hair care products. You know, these are all the women that I have had in my life for many, many years. And so with the 2019 Young Black Women Power and Respect Tour, I just wanted to bring all of these women together. Now, I'm not going to be speaking, I'm not going to be keynote speaker how they are. I'm just hosting. Come out, introduce people, you know, go around, walk around, talk to people, you know, stuff like that. I'm not, the focus of the event is not me. Okay, so I don't want people to think it's just solely about me. It's about all of the women and how we've come together as a team to put this tour together. So we're doing Oakland, Sacramento, Birmingham, Charlotte, Tampa, Orlando, Memphis, New Orleans, where else? DC. We're going to do DC. I haven't figured out the exact date for DC yet, so forgive me for that. We do want to go to Texas, Austin, Houston, Chicago, New York. We're doing all of these. So I'm only going to do 2 a month. not going to do a whole bunch because I still want to be able to spend time with my son. And putting this stuff together is a lot of work. We got a lot of work to do. So if you would like to sponsor, you can. I'll send you a sponsorship kit and my media kit if you want it. You can email powerrespecttour@gmail.com. I'll send you more information, as much information as you want. Please understand that I'm not just going to be sending information out to just any random person. You have to you have to show me that you're legitimately interested. There is some information up on the website if you want to check it out. It's Power Respect Tour. No, is it? Yeah, powerrespecttour.yolasite.com. And I'll make sure I'll put the links to everything inside of the description box once this is loaded onto YouTube. As you can see, I haven't been doing a lot of live streams. I won't be. I only live stream sometimes. I'm trying to post every Saturday, and I'm going to go back to doing my true crime videos on Tuesday, of course. But I can only do like a video once, 4 times a month. Like I can only do every Saturday because I'm doing so freaking much. And plus with my Roku channel, I got so much going on with my Roku channel. My Roku channel will have exclusive content. So as far as my DNA test go and the results, if you want to see us go do the DNA test because it's going to be filmed and the results of the DNA test are going to be on my Roku channel as well. So if you want to see that, you need to go get Roku because I'm not putting it on YouTube. Anything that has to do with my real life, it's turning into a show. I don't want to call it a reality show because I don't have all that drama going on. Like I'm like the drama freest person. Like I don't have all that, like I guess the regular everyday drama that people usually experience on like reality TV. I don't have that. Like that is like totally not there. I didn't have it before I started dating Priest. Like usually when I'm not dating, I don't have any drama. It's usually when I start dating because the men, like men are like girls. Like, at least the men I've chosen, they like to gossip like girls and stuff. I just don't have time for that. So I definitely want to be positive and doing better and showing more. So honestly, if you have any type of positive thing you want to send me, please email it to me, Soncerae@gmail.com. Okay. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm gonna go in, play with my son, and then with my mama, and I'm just gonna, try to live my life positively and do the damn thing. Just live the life I've been doing. I've been living an amazing life, and hopefully, like I said before, I put Justice's child support money into a trust fund so Justice can go to college. Um, it's unfortunate that I had to even do this. It's very unfortunate, but whatever. You know. So anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. Anybody who has something negative or critical to say, thank you for pulling for me. A lot of people have some negative stuff to say. I'm okay with that. That means that you're pulling for me. You would like to see me do better. That's the perspective I have in regards to negativity. I still find a positive way to look at it. Everything is good for me. I'm doing so well, and I appreciate all the people who stuck by me as I was going through like this rough time in my life, and I'm going through my healing, and I feel great. Everything isn't at 100% yet, but it will be. So anyway, thank you guys. All right, have vision and stay focused, y'all. Namaste.